What is going on, everybody? I want to compare all the weekly pairs since the Yield Max, YMAG, and YMAX have come online beginning of October. The Defiant funds, and of course the Round Hill fund have already been online for weekly paying. And we only have a couple weeks worth of data here to go over, but still, I think it's a fun comparison. So let's get into it. This is Mike, the Tactical Stock Scalper. All right, all right. So let's start here from the beginning of October, as we can see the dates here. Now, I when I saw these numbers, look at IWMY, what it's doing to RDTE in total returns. But I do think these numbers might be a little messed up because I think IWMY and any other Defiant funds, as you will see, were paying some more based off last month versus their weekly pay. You might have to refer to like a retire on dividends video to get more information on that. But I think that's why these numbers are a little inflated for the Defiant fund. So we're going to look at them for the past month, and then we're going to look at them for the past week. This is all the data we have, 2 weeks, a month. It's not a lot of time. Neither is a year. So we do need more time to see which ones are the best, but this is all the data we have. So since the beginning of October, as you can see here, IWMY is just really taking RDTE to the woodshed. But again, I think the dividends were inflated, causing this total return to be a little misleading. And you will see that when we go to the last week breakdown. Now, I'd really be interested in to know what your thoughts are and which ones will be performing better as time goes on. So if we look here, it's the same thing, right? QQQY is beating its competitor here, QDTE, by a large margin. Again, I think that's because of the inflated dividends that the Defiance funds paid initially from last month. And you'll see here again, right, with XDTE losing to WDTE, we are seeing this comparison. Now, this gap is tightening. But wait till we go to the last week, and you'll see some contrast here, and something that I found pretty fascinating. So let's move on here. YMAX versus QDTE from the beginning of October. And we can see here that YMAX is just slightly, ever so slightly, beating out QDTE. I'm doing a lot of comparisons to QDTE because it seems to be the most popular anyway. So I think that's what most people are invested in versus, let's say, RDTE or XDTE. So that's why the comparisons with QDTE. So we see here that YMAX is outperforming QDTE since the beginning of October. But again, we're going to break this down by week, and you'll see some differences here. Okay, so here we go, starting to see some differences, okay? This is the past week, as you can see here, from October 10th to October 16th. And you can see a wide separation since IWMY strictly hasn't paid anything from last month. This is just a week-by-week basis. And you can see the separation now from the last week. Again, it's only a week. Time will tell which ones are really the best, but this is all the data we have to go off of. So, yeah, we're starting to see a separation. Which one do you think will be better long term? RDTE or IWMY? Since IWMY has changed their strategies, it's going to be interesting. And they're not paying or looking for 0.25 per day to make. Now they've lowered that to 0.15. So will that help in total returns and some share price appreciation? We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But as of last week, RDTE beating IWMY. Oh, wait till you see I got some more comparisons. I got a couple that may shock you here. Before I get on with that, I want to show you this here. In our membership group since October, we haven't lost the trade at all. Pretty cool. And here's some more of the trades here. if you want to join the membership group and get involved in some of these trades, I'll leave a link in the description. So let's go back here. Okay. All right, so here we are with the IWMY RDTE weekly comparison. Now check this one out. QQY is beating it since early October, and then the past week, QQQY is beating QDTE. Do you see this holding up? I mean, I don't know if we will see this holding up or not long term, but for right now, QQQY is beating QDTE. Now here's what we're going to see here with XDTE beating WDTE. It's the same with the Russell funds that Rock Hill is coming out the leader in those. I don't know why the discrepancy why QY is beating QDTE, whereas the other two Round Hill funds are beating the Defiance competitors, as we can see here. Right? That QQQY one really shocked me. Now, here's YMAG versus YMAX, okay? And since the beginning of October. Now, YMAG has outperformed YMAX since inception. But since October 1st, YMAX is beating YMAG in total returns here. I don't anticipate this to be happening long term. I do expect YMAG to continue to outperform YMAX, but since October, it just hasn't. Now, YMAG versus QDTE here since the beginning of October, and QDTE is outperforming YMAG since the beginning of October. However, I did a video last week, I think, where YMAG, since inception, and since QDTE's inception, is outperforming QDTE. But since October, just beating it by a fair margin, right? If you have dividends reinvested, it's 10,219 for QDTE, and for YMAG, only 10,035. Sorry, somebody must be here, and the dogs are going crazy. Probably a delivery. Okay. YMAX versus QDTE for the last week. And YMAX is outperforming QDTE for the past week. I didn't expect this. I expected QDTE to outperform it, but it is not. So there must be some, wonderful funds going on in YMAX causing it to rip up. Again, I don't think long term this is going to be the norm, honestly. I would expect QDTE to outperform YMAX in total returns long term. Here's YMAG versus QDTE for the past week. And again, YMAG is outperforming QDTE for the past week. So what have I learned from this comparison? It's all over the freaking place. It's hard to tell because there's just not enough data yet to say which ones are better. But since the month began, even with the possibly inflated dividends from last month, which may not even be a fair comparison, IWMY has outperformed everybody else. And then QQQY has come in second. Coming in worst since October 1st is YMAG with $10,035. Pretty big comparison between YMAG at $10,035 and IWMY at $10,731. But again, I don't know if I take those Defiance numbers to heart. The last week is probably a better representation. Hope you enjoyed the video. This is Mike, the Tactical Stock Scalper, out.